And those guys, like I said, they would just pull us to the side. You know, it was funny. One of the first nights on TV we ever did the spot against Brad Armstrong and Swole when he was in the No Limit Soldiers.
Right, yeah.
I think we were in Huntsville, Alabama, which was a hot town for wrestling. And Brad Armstrong, another one of the greatest to ever get in the ring, just an amazing, amazing talent. I've wrestled the whole Armstrong family, and all of them are amazing. But it was funny because we laid it out with Brad, you know, what we're going to do, where he shoots me in the corner, shoots Lenny in the corner. Swole comes in with a big splash. Lenny falls out on all fours. You know, I fall out behind him, and I'm rocking back and forth. And, you know, we would call it the doggy position, you know, there. And Brad said, I want you guys to hit that, and I'm just going to wait and let the fans come with it, and then I'll kick you, you know, and break you up out of it. We'll go to the next spot. And we had done this on house shows, but we had not done it on live TV yet. I think it was the first time we hit it on TV, and that building, you can hear, I mean, it's one of those things like the roof is getting ready to come off. It's like starting to come. And like, we hadn't been there but a split second, a brief second, and all of a sudden Brad just kicks me in the head, you know, and we get back in the back, and I'm like, the match went well, you know, we got pops where we were supposed to. But I'm like, Brad, why did you cut that spot so short? I mean, we were supposed to, because once I get behind Lenny, you know, he's all fours, I rock back and forth, and it's a big slow drawn out thing, you know, and boom, the boot came. He said, man, I was sitting there and I was watching, and I heard the crowd coming. I'm like, this is going to be great. And all of a sudden it hit me. I'm like, there are 10 million people at home watching these two grown men do this on TV. I can't let them see it. Bam. He's like, I'm sorry. I just couldn't leave you there. I was dying inside. I'm like,
unbelievable.
But that's one of those times when, you know, you've got somebody like Brad Armstrong who's grown up in the business and knows it is good or better than anybody else, and he's even popping for it. And he's like, I can't let this stay on TV so long, you know. But it was one of those things where, you know, the more we worked, so many things we did in the ring truly were ad lib. They just came to us, and we'd get back in the back, and some of the guys would be like, hey, where did you guys decide to do such and such, or how did you come up with? And we're like, we just did it.
Yeah.
You know, it was one of those things. And so, you know, I have been tag partners with a lot of different guys through shows and stuff, whatever. And that type of chemistry is just rare. It just, you rarely ever come across it. And when you do, I think that comes across on TV like it did with us.
Yep. And it absolutely worked until a point when eventually you're both pulled off TV very out of the blue, from at least for my standpoint as a fan watching, due to complaints from GLAAD. Take
Yes,
me
sir.
through the day you found out about this and how disappointed you must have been. The flock has come and gone. You had the loaded glove, but you weren't doing a lot. Finally, you get yourself back over, and now you have another bump in the road and you're off TV.
Oh, that was tough, because we were setting up for, right before we got pulled, we were going to be the surprise tag team to face Harlem Heat for the tag belts at the next pay-per-view.
Right.
And they pulled us because GLAAD complained again to AOL Time Warner. And the whole GLAAD thing that bothered me the most, this was, you know, 98, 99, 99. The internet's, you know, wrestling's starting to be a big thing online, that kind of stuff. We got so many emails from fans that were upset. We got emails from GLAAD field coordinators who actually quit when they found out GLAAD was behind getting us taken off TV.
Right.
The thing that upset me the most, I mean, this in the States, this made USA Today, it made the Washington Post, it was in all the big papers. The thing that bothered me the most, the GLAAD watchdog, the guy they had that was the monitor for everything that could possibly be anti-LGBTQ. He complained about 5 things about the West Hollywood Blondes. And instead of anyone explaining to him that all 5 of his complaints were ill-founded and wrong, they just took us off TV. They just automatically cowered and said, okay, yep, they're off TV, they're done. Don't worry about it, it won't ever happen again. Do you know, have you heard about this through your reading or anything, what he complained about? Does any of this sound familiar?
I wasn't able to find too much information, just that they were involved, and
Okay.
the bad press might have had a factor in Eric Bischoff losing his job. But
Yeah,
I don't know if there's any truth to that or not. I was actually going to ask you if you knew about that.
The problem with the whole GLAAD complaint, they complained once earlier. There was a time when we were in Atlanta, and Lenny and I had done a vignette, and what we were leading up to, as the whole storyline came out, that we were brothers.
Yeah.
That was the plan all along.
Yeah.
It just got fast forwarded to get there. But we were doing a vignette in the back where Lenny was worried and Lenny was upset, and I'm telling him, Lenny, it's okay. We're not the only ones here, man. It's not a big deal. I'm talking about us being brothers, but of course everybody's thinking something else. But we walk out of the room and I shut the door, and you look back, and the show was in Atlanta, Georgia, actually, and you look back, the door said closet. So it looked like we'd come out of the closet. And they had complained, and you know, at the time they had explained to GLAAD that we're a weekly episodic show. You know, they're like, we won't ever show it again. It happens, blah, blah. So one of the first complaints in this 5-piece thing was they were told they would never show that again. And they said they showed it multiple times again, which they never did. So that was just a blatant, it was a blatant untruth. So that one doesn't count.
Yep.
They said in every arena, Lodi is announced as Lenny's gay homosexual partner.
No. No.
Well, those 2 words were never used in an arena or on TV ever.
Never. No.
So that's where I had the problem. You know, there's 2 things that aren't even close to the truth. The third thing was we never won a match. You already said Lenny was the cruiserweight champion.
Yeah.
how did we get the cruiserweight belt if we never won a match, right? And so there's 3 things that aren't even in the realm of reality, because Lenny got the belt and kept the belt.
Yeah.
He
was beating everyone.
Yeah. The 4th thing that what they brought out was they had wished it had been established characters that came out, not just 2 new people they threw on TV. I had been on TV since 97, and Lenny had been on since 96. So I think the Lodi character was as Lenny's character was well established before. They may not have known who we were, but wrestling fans knew who we were.
Yeah.
And the 5th thing was they said we were inciting homophobic behavior everywhere we went. So that was the 5 things, and 4 out of those 5, you know, when they went to inciting homophobic behavior, they said there were, you know, slurs and stuff used against us in the arenas, and I can't argue with that. There were times when we were called some pretty bad things. So we will give them 1 out of 5. I don't think we were going out to willingly incite homophobic behavior. And I had friends of mine in Atlanta who were gay that pulled me to the side like, hey, we know you're not gay. We think what you guys are doing is really funny. Just don't make us look bad when you pull out of this, because we know it's somewhere in the storyline, it's wrestling. We know you guys aren't going to be gay on TV. And I'm like, no problem. We got it covered.
Yeah.
You know? So to lose that lightning in a bottle thing that you just can't come up with and grab because you want it, to have that yanked out from under you, that was a real kick in the teeth, man. That's probably one of the hardest things in retrospect to deal with. And, you know, then to see, you know, WWE totally copied it with the Billy and Chuck thing, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
actually, when that was happening, I was always hoping, I hope Lenny and Lodi show up.
Yeah, how great, you know. And here was the bad thing. When WCW took us off TV, we were still under contract. And so WWE was not allowed to talk to us, but not directly, but indirectly through Matt Hardy from Jim Ross was, you know, we were given a notice that, like, if you can get out of your contract, you have a job right now.
Really?
And I met, yeah. And, yeah. And so we asked for our release multiple times, and we're told, you guys are the future of this company. We don't want to let you go. We're going to make this right. And at this point, Raven was at ECW.
Yeah.
And so I would attend a lot of the ECW shows with Raven on the weekends if I was free. And I had multiple talks with Paul Heyman. And Paul's like, if you can get out of your contract, I'll offer you 6 figures to come here tomorrow.
Oh, man.
So we had 2 places to go, but J.J. Dillon and the rest of the guys, every time we asked, refused to let us out of our contract. And so, when they finally brought us back with the standards and practices that we both hated and the ideas they had for us, and then, I hate to berate this part about it, but, Vince Russo and Ed Ferrara brought us back and made a lot of promises to us the first night we met them and came back to the show, and they broke them all the very next TV. It just left a bad taste in my mouth.